You used to bartend there.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 92 is getting ready to be put in the can. That would be tonight. And there's Davey Longwood, Mandy Joe, Madcap Mandy, and the gunner Hellfire Henley. All of us are here tonight, and we have a very special guest on the show tonight and some special announcements. So let's get to it. The first thing we always do is let everybody know, how can you find us? Captain's Quarters Podcast on YouTube. Use that QR code if you like, and then you can catch up with us. Like us, support us. What's the other thing? You like them, and you...
Subscribe.
Subscribe. There's the word I was looking for right there. Subscribe and like us, and we'll give you some numbers at the end of the show to tell you how many people are actually doing that. And I've got a special announcement on how we might be able to get more and more of you to join in. We've got a special pirate idea that we're going to start using. We just haven't formulated all the ideas to go with it, but I'm going to give you a good hint. As always, a cheer to everybody. Barbados rum. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that'll do for now. I don't want to drink too much because then might not be able to handle the show, you know what I mean? So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we always do 8 Bells, sponsored by our friends, the Riker family of reenactors. Great reenactors that have been a part of St. Augustine's history for many, many decades. We'll do our 8 Bells, but don't go anywhere after that because we have a very special 8 Bell to do after this. So, Davey, how many do we have tonight?
4.
All right. Anthony Dominic Benito, professionally known as Tony Bennett, was an American singer. Bennett amassed many accolades throughout his career, including 20 Grammy Awards, Lifetime Achievement Awards, 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. He was named an NEA Jazz Master and a Kennedy Center honoree, and was the founder of the Frank Sinatra School of the Arts in Astoria, Queens, New York. Astoria, Queens, New York. My apologies. I guess I should put my glasses on. Oh, look, I can see things now. He sold more than 50 million records worldwide. He was 96 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Next on our list is Mark Thomas. Was a British composer. He is known for his work on Twin Town, The Final Curtain, Agent Cody Banks. He won a 1998 BAFTA CYMRU Award for his score to the Twin Town. His music for TV series episodes gained him a nomination for the 2011 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Original Main Title Music Theme. He was 67 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else? There it is. Michael Wilson Ivey was an American professional baseball player. He played as a first baseman in the Major League Baseball for the San Diego Padres, the San Francisco Giants, and the Houston Astros, and the Detroit Tigers during his career from 71 to 83. In addition to playing first base, Ivey put in considerable time as a third baseman, a left fielder, and was designated hitter. Ivey is one of the only 5 Major League players to hit 2 pinch hit grand slams in the same season, and he was 70 years old. Miller Farr Jr. was an American professional football player who was the cornerback for 10 seasons in the American Football League and the National Football League, a 3-time American Football League All-Star. Farr established an AFL record for the most touchdowns on pass interceptions in a game and tied the AFL record for a season. Miller Farr was selected to the all-time All-AFL second team. He was 80 years old. And that's the 4 that we have. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, for this week, we raise our glass in toast and 8 bells. Now I want to do a special 8 bells for somebody that just passed away this past weekend. He was known and noted here in St. Augustine, especially in the reenactment community. His name was John Powell. There's a couple of great pictures of him. John Powell was noted and admired and respected for his knowledge in the reenactment community here. He portrayed many different characters from many different times of the St. Augustine history. He had an extensive collection of buttons and coins and just bits and pieces of things that came from archaeological digs here. He was an archaeological intelligent man himself. He was also a calligrapher, and that's one of the ways that I got to meet him. John Powell was a wonderful guy. He was a lot of fun to talk to, and he was one of the very few reenactors in my first times in 2007 and 2008, one of the very few reenactors that actually spent the time or took the time to actually have conversations with me on pirate history in St. Augustine. His calligraphy he actually used to help me create a couple of William Mayhem posters in my earlier days as a pirate entertainer here in St. Augustine. And he was just a vast, knowledgeable man on the things that were St. Augustine history. One of the other things that he always did, every time he came up to me, I was always carrying percussion cap weapons, and there was a reason for that. I could wear percussion cap weapons and use the caps and fire them off around children where they would at least get some semblance of what a percussion cap or a powder weapon would do without setting off anybody's fear with the louder noises. It was his suggestion, but he always, when he would see me, the first words out of his mouth were, "Mayhem, we got to get you the right proper weapon." He was in many, many, many parades here. He's known by many for the times that he was part of the fort, the Mena Menendez, and just everything he did. There's a couple of pictures of him right there. That there is on the grounds of the Colonial Quarter. I don't know what event that actually was, but that is one of the events. Do you have a couple of other pictures there, Davey? There he is. He was also a drummer, and he would round out the rhythm for the marchers going through. There's a couple of other good, well-known reenactors with him. There he is in a completely different outfit. Robert Settles of the time. How about one more? There he is looking like he's about ready to shoot anybody. And there he is in one of our many parades, walking with the soldiers from the fort. And there they are in one of their parade floats. There he is right in the center, hollering and screaming, and I know exactly what they're hollering. Viva la St. Augustine! And of course he was a big part of the 450th here in St. Augustine, and those all are other reenactors that were with him. Ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed his company. I enjoyed our conversations. I learned a lot from him, and I will always think well of him. It is sad that we've lost him, but as we pirates say, he's now on to Fiddler's Green. I raise a glass to him, and we give him special 8 bells. To John's family, we give our heartfelt sorrow. To John's friends, we share in the stories that all make us reminded of the fact that us reenactors, us pirates, us soldiers, everybody that does something for St. Augustine's history, we all work together. We rest in peace for him. Aye. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring it up a notch now. And it's time for Joke of the Week with Captain Mayhem's Mini-Me. Go ahead there, sir, Mini-Me.
Ahoy, mates. Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week. Sponsored by Shirami Pictures. What do you call a pirate's hairstyle? Think about it, and I will give you the answer at the end of the show.
What do you call a pirate's hairstyle? Well, we'll have the reveal on that at the very end of the show. We'll see what happens if anybody's paying attention on that. But that's Mini-Me. He is a joker. Spyglass Travel, ladies and gentlemen, they're our sponsor for the Quote of the Week. If you want a good walking tour to St. Augustine, well, ladies and gentlemen, you need to catch up with my friends Kevin and Angie Rose. They have some great tours going on over there, and you can get a fine walking tour and some exercise as you learn about the fantastic history of St. Augustine. You can find them at spyglasstravel.com. org, I believe it is. How bad of me not to remember. We'll have to make sure that gets put up there so that everybody can watch. But ladies and gentlemen, in matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. Thomas Jefferson. I like that. In matters of style, swim with the current. But in matters of principle, stand like a rock. Steadfast, I believe that would be. Very good. Great quote, Mr. Longwood. I like that. Nightingale in Florida also agrees with it. Great quote. Of course, now it's Question of the Week, sponsored by Ancient City Sirens, our good friends under the command of Gina Marie, an all-girl crew of pirates, dancers, belly dancers, traditional, tribal, you name it, they can do it all, including mermaids. If you need some good mermaids and some good dancers, Ancient City Sirens. And the question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, what do you like best about the nature of the First Coast? That question is in honor of our guests that will be on in just a few more moments. But what do you like best about the nature of the First Coast? I'll tell you what I like. I'm a sucker for the dolphins. I love to see the dolphins out there. I've been on the water several times on different boats, and it's always wonderful to see the dolphins out there. But of course, you could argue and say that the bird life here in this area is wonderful to watch too. So, we'll see what you like as we look down the... Here we go. I see Sketchy Guy is out there on our show. Very good, Sketchy Guy. Nice to see you. Been a while. I know you've probably been busy. We might have to have a conversation later. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we always talk about what the crew is up to. The crew has completed some of their gigs or have gigs on the horizon. We haven't had any gigs in the past couple of months, but I do want to share with you the crew, the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, is getting a brand new t-shirt. I just picked them all up today, and I wanted to share the t-shirts with you. Let you see what the crew has got. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful t-shirts. This is one of the ladies' V-neck ones. Says our swashbuckler logo on the front that says crew, but on the back is our new extra logo that we want to share with everybody. These St. Augustine Swashbucklers, crew, unity, honor, and tradition. And if you look really close, right in the very center, it says rum. We are going to have these shirts made without the logo on the front, but only this on the back, for anybody that would like to support the charity work that the St. Augustine Swashbucklers do. We'll be doing orders of those. We will not buy them ahead of time, but we will do orders up front and make sure you get your shirts. Be watching for the advertisements of that. And as always, I'd like to tell people how we're getting some of the things done that are getting done here. Sports Corner. If you need t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen, if you need them done right, then go see the people at Sports Corner. There it is right there, Sports Corner Custom Apparel. I know our guests that are here tonight, they use them too. I've used Sports Corner now for just about every event we've done. And I'm now working on t-shirts for Spooktacular, Old City Pirate Festival, and the podcast with them. And one other thing that's going to be a surprise, if I can get it done by Friday, the crew will be surprised by this one. So I'm not telling you though. I like to surprise the crew at the crew meeting on Sunday afternoon. But Sports Corner, ladies and gentlemen, they're a great people. And you know what I always say, ladies and gentlemen, keep local money local. Think about it. Pirates did that, you know. They might bring all the stuff they sell, or they stole off the cargo ships and bring it to the seaport, and once they sold it, well, they might stay around for a day or two and drink your rum and eat your food and dance with your ladies, and how do you think they pay for it? With the very money that you gave them to buy their products. That's called capitalism, ladies and gentlemen, and they kept local money local, and I like to keep traditions going. It's a good pirate tradition. So local money local. There you have it. And on that note, crew adventures on the horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, we'll be out at the fairgrounds helping Staples with their Kids Fest. They're raising money for school supplies for all the kids in St. Johns County. The next weekend is the Murder Mystery Dinner Show put on by the Seawolf Privateers. Yours truly is in the show. Yes, they had gotten a bind and they needed an extra actor, and well, I agreed to help them out. And I'm playing Madcap Manatee. Captain Madcap Manatee. You'll have to come see the show to find out more about it. The 26th of August is Dances of the Hearts with the Blue Lotus and Ancient City Sirens. September 15, 16, and 17, Ancient City Con. Yep, Captain Mayhem will be out there one more time. This will be my 5th year with the Ancient City Con. Come out and see us, and they've got a whole lot of the Star Trek celebrities going to be out there this year. It'll be well worth it. And of course, September 18th, Talk Like a Pirate Day special podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what? The 2 originators of Talk Like a Pirate Day have agreed to try to make it onto the show, along with Tom Mason from Nashville. But the originators are out on the West Coast, I believe, and then Tom Mason in Nashville. And if I can get old Mark Miller of Rusty Cutlass out of Orlando up here, either on the streaming or alive with us, we're going to have a righteously grand time on September 18th, because September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. So we should have a grand old time for it. In fact, it just gave me an idea. Maybe that's the Tuesday night, September 19th, that we need to do something with our guests. But we'll see what they say, because now I put them in a position to have to think about it. I've done it live. I'm not going to read off the rest of everything there, but look at all the things we've got going on. Look at the dates. Look at the activities. Come out and support us. The Seawolf Privateers help the foster children down in Flagler County and surrounding counties. St. Augustine Swashbucklers help Inc., St. Augustine Youth Services, and the St. Johns County Fire Department, their cadet program. That's what we do. And then, of course, the Ancient City Sirens, they help out with the Humane Society and any of the other projects we're working on together. So there's a whole lot there. We'll be in Panama City in October, and we'll be in Edgewater, Florida in November. So it's always good for you to keep eyes on what we're doing and come see us wherever we're at. And I think that takes care of it all. The things we're supposed to do. Yes, it took us a little extra time tonight, but it was well worth it. And again, one more thing. It is sad to see some of the people that we know pass on. And I'll leave it at that. But for now, Davey, do you have a good video to start us off with our bringing our guest in?
Oh, I do.
All right, very good. Throw that video up. Hey, and look who's sitting here with me now. Jessica
Jadek.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say Jadek for some reason, but
okay.
Jadek. I'm sure she gets it pronounced badly all the time. But this is the boss, the owner, the captain of Florida Water Tours. Say hello to everybody out there.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. And so let's get this first special announcement right out there. Not only are they here to be guests, but they're here to be guests for a reason. They are, as of next Monday night, for an entire year, 52 weeks, they are going to be one of the sponsors of the Captain's Quarters podcast. I'm happy with that.
I am too.
Yeah. Oh, see, there's people cheering it. And what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that we've picked out a segment of the show that they will be the sponsor of that segment, and we will talk about them every week. In fact, tomorrow evening, Davey and I are going, with the help of a friend of ours, we're going to go set on some videos to do some new commercial type videos to go on of our show here. So we're going to make one just for the Florida Water Tours, but they're going to be a part of our show now for 52 weeks. That puts us all the way to next summer. And I put them in a position that September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. We are actually going to do something on one of their boats filled with pirates on that night to celebrate Talk Like a Pirate's Day.
On the water.
On the water.
Yeah.
Davey, we'll have to bring some cameras. We'll at least do some cameras and some videos for sure and have a good time with it. So I know some of our crew can't make it on a Tuesday night, but it'll be a grand, righteously great time. So let's talk about Florida Water Tours first. How long have you been in business?
So I started Florida Water Tours back in 2016. So it's been about 7 years. And I just always knew that I wanted to do something with the sea. I've always been very passionate about dolphin and marine wildlife in general. And when I came down here to St. Augustine, I'm from Long Island originally. I grew up on the South Shore of Long Island, but I've been visiting St. Augustine for a long time. My dad has lived down here for a long time. So when I came down here, and this town is just so beautiful and filled with so much history, and this opportunity presented itself, so it was perfect. So
did COVID slow you down?
Yes, COVID slowed us down a little bit, but not as bad as some other businesses, because people really wanted to get outside and be more in nature, which was really great for us because that's what we do. And so we stayed strong during COVID, and then that's actually around the time that I started the nonprofit educational outreach program that we do a lot of now.
And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
The nonprofit, the educational outreach, the working with nature. But let's talk about Florida Water Tours for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
You have 3 vessels.
We do, yes.
See, I'm not going to call them boats. I'm a pirate. They're vessels. They're ships. You have 3, though.
We do.
So tell us what you have.
So we have 3 different vessels. The Osprey is our biggest boat. That's the one that we've had the longest, and it's a 45-foot pontoon boat. It is certified for 38 passengers, and it's got a bar on the boat.
A bar, that's important.
Mm-hmm. We have a bar license on that boat, which is really great. And we do our dolphin and wildlife adventure, our wine tasting cruise, which is really popular, and our sunset cruise, of course. We do the sunset cruise every evening, all throughout the year. And on our smaller boat, it's certified for 24 passengers. That's our smaller pontoon boat. And same thing, we do our dolphin and wildlife adventure on that one.
But
and
that
our
one has
sunset
no
cruise.
bar.
That one has no bar, but it is BYOB.
It's BYOB, which means if you've got a smaller group and you want to bring them on board and you want to have some spirits while you're looking at our fantastic nature here, you bring your own.
That's right.
That's very good. So what's the smallest one you have then?
And then it's not really our smallest one, but we have a 42-foot motor yacht that we do more intimate private cruises. We seated up to 6 people. So it's a little bit more upscale than our pontoon boats, but it's really beautiful. It's got a really beautiful inside. It's kind of like a liveaboard vessel, and it's just really, really fantastic and beautiful. And we have some food packages that go along with that one, some beer and wine packages as well. So if you wanted to do something a little bit more intimate and a little more fancy, then you can get out on that vessel.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I've already got some ideas on how that would be really wonderful to make my wife happy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect date night experience.
Yeah, sounds really wonderful. So where are you birthed at?
We are located at the Comanche Cove Marina in St. Augustine. That's right on the base of the Volano Bridge. So it's very close to downtown, but the great thing is we have free parking and plentiful parking.
And that's actually how we really met, was
Yes.
you did an event 5 years ago, maybe?
It was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
You came and you did a magic show for us.
And my pirates were there, the Pirates of the Swashbucklers.
Yes.
Doing games and having a good time because it was a charity drive.
It was our very first nonprofit fundraiser that we did for the Water Warriors.
And how did that event go?
It went fantastic. It was our first one, and we did it right there at the marina, and so it was right on the water, but it was like in the middle of July, so it was really hot.
It was blasted hot, I can tell you that, especially because I have to wear...
Oh, you're dressed to the nines.
I am dressed to the nines, and it doesn't matter where we go, I have to wear that because that's the branding that I put
Yes.
Captain Mayhem into.
Yeah.
Hey, Davey, put that last comment back up there real quick. See, my wife is watching from another room, and so she's already believed that will make her happy, so I'm now honor bound to figure out something to do. Maybe we'll come up with something and go have a good time with it. We'll see what we can do, lovely. So here's a question for you that it just, as I said before when we did pre-show, I'm just going to throw things out there to you, and whatever you might say is going to bring me a question. So, do you have a captain's license?
I do not.
Okay. Does your husband have a captain's license?
Yes.
All right. So he's one of the captains of the boat.
Yes.
And you have another one. We were talking about him, Captain Scott.
Captain Scott. So I have about 25 employees now. It started off just myself, Mike, and my dad. And then we've just grown so much. We started off with the one boat. And then now we have the three, and I have probably about, I would say, 5 or 6 captains, and then the rest are my amazing, incredible crew members.
And I know at least one of your crew members, and that would be Angie Rose.
Angie Rose,
who also is working. There's your Osprey right there.
Yes, that's Osprey. Mm-hmm.
Aye.
With a couple of dolphins. There's the Island Breeze. Vessel with Captain Kevin right there, which I also have to give a shout out to. He is the owner of Island Sun Media, who does all of our photography, videography for all of our social media. He's an amazing wildlife photographer. So all the pictures that you're seeing here are probably all from him.
And that's the Salty Dreams?
That's the Salty Dreams. That's the motor yacht that we have, yeah.
Well, that looks like it could be a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I could hear... My wife is watching from another room, but I can hear her making comments already. So, well, we'll have to talk to you about those things. I think you've got a unique touristy thing, but thing is probably the wrong word I should use. You have a unique touristy attraction. There's the word I want to use.
There you go. Yeah.
But I bet you get just as many locals as you get tourists.
I was just going to say, we do. We really try to cater to as many different people as we can. That's kind of what I love to do. Is whether you're a local, a vacationer, if you are grandparents with your grandkids, or parents with your kids, or you want to get out for a date night. We really try. We have such a variety of different types of cruises that we do, that we cater to so many different types of people.
So a question just popped up about the pricing. So is pricing on your website?
Yes.
Okay.
All the pricing is on our website.
I always hate it when I want to know something about pricing and you go to the website and there's nothing there and they say, call for pricing. If I have to call, it means I probably can't afford it.
Right, yeah.
And I hate that.
Or if there's like a food menu without the pricing, it's usually really expensive.
I don't like that. So your pricing is on FloridaWaterTour.com.
Yes.
And contact information and everything is there. So ladies and gentlemen, there's the website there. If you're interested, please do. And we noticed while the video was playing, Davey, do you have a way to put that 25 or 20% coupon back up there a minute?
There you go.
Unplanned, ladies and gentlemen, totally unplanned. I did not know this part of it, but at the beginning, during our question of the week, I told everybody that I like the Dolphin Life here in St. Augustine. And look at that. You can get 25% off one of the Dolphin Tours if you just use my name, and that's good up until at least the end of August right now. So if you want to go on a Dolphin Tour, and the end of August, 31st of August, that's 5 weeks. So the next 5 weeks, go on a Dolphin Tour and use my name. And instead of using my name in vain, you're using my name there to get a good tour. I bet it's a lot of fun, too. And so this is, I'm just a smart ass. When you go on ghost tours, I've had some of my friends who do ghost tours, they always say that some of the people say, I don't see any ghosts. You can't guarantee you're going to see dolphins either, can you?
That's correct, yeah. It's wild. So, but being St. Augustine, I love that you said that dolphin is your favorite part of nature in St. Augustine, because there are so many dolphin here. And
one of our Facebook users, has been on your tours many times.
Oh, yay!
Very good.
That's so awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of dolphin here, and right now the little ones are out there too.
Oh,
so we
that's
see
right.
a lot of the little babies and the juvenile dolphin, and I like to say it's about a 96% chance that we're going to see actual dolphin when you're out there. But if you don't see dolphin, there are so much wildlife here.
Well, the birds throughout this area are wonderful to look at too. The birds, sea turtles.
Yes, there's sea turtles. Every once in a while we get manatee.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Right in our marina.
Yeah.
They like to hang out where the boats are in the marina. So
you ever seen any alligators out in the water?
I believe that they have.
Yeah,
one or
I've
two
never
times.
have, but I've heard that it's a possibility.
It is
for
a
spotting
possibility,
them too.
yeah.
Yes. So there's just so many things I want to ask now because seeing St. Augustine from the water is really a great sight too, especially at Christmas time with the lights. But and I bet you do a lot of tours then too.
We do. Yes. Yeah. Being out, if you're out there, there are a lot of different boat tours out on the water now, and I would say that if we all have something different and unique about us. And so if you're out there on the water in St. Augustine, you're doing something right, because it's just so beautiful, especially the sunset cruises, because you don't really get to see the sunset when you're on land. So when you get out there on the boat and the sunset's behind the city, it's just so beautiful, or where the big cross is. And so, yeah, getting out there on the water. And then for Nights of Light season, a really good pro tip for all of our locals who want to also experience the Nights of Lights is get out of the crowded downtown area, and seeing it from the water is just a totally different perspective. So.
Well, St. Augustine is beautiful no matter what time of day you see it.
Yeah.
And and being out there on the water, the Matanzas Bay is a swift running water. Do you know what they called the Matanzas Bay before it was known as Matanzas Bay? This is a piece of history. You may not know.
Massacre Bay, or the Bay of the Dancing Dolphins?
Bay of the Dancing Dolphins, that's what the Indians called it. And then when Pedro Menendez came here and did what he did with the French Huguenots, then they changed it to the Matanzas Bay, which stands for massacre or slaughter. And as I always like to tell people in my tours, if the billboards out on 95 were out there for people to see as they're driving down 95 to point south, and they saw billboards that said, "Come see Massacre Bay in St. Augustine," nobody would come. But because it's called the Matanzas, it sounds so much more romantic, so everybody will come and see us.
There you go.
So, so from this now, and if I miss anything else, throw it in here, but you're now doing you have a charity.
Yes.
And it's for the ecosystem. So tell us what it's called.
So the name of it is Florida Water Warriors, and it is an eco-educational nonprofit. So our mission is we bring school kids, K through 12, out on the water to do educational cruises. So our vessel becomes like a floating classroom. And we have our main educators for the nonprofit are Kevin Jadek and Christy Corrigan, and they are so incredible with the kids, and it's very engaging. Our mission is we want to teach these kids about the local marine wildlife and conservation. So we want these kids to learn and leave with a passion for protecting our environment and keeping the waterways healthy and clean, and knowledge is power. So these kids are going to grow up and they're our future, and so we want to, and some of these kids that come out have never even been on a boat before. They don't know that, releasing balloons are bad for the environment and things like that. So Christy does a really great job in teaching these kids. We have a lot of hands-on material that we use. We collect water samples. Each kid has their own little science kit. They become little junior marine scientists when they're on board with us.
Captain, I have a little video to go with that.
What's that?
I have a video with that.
Do you?
Great.
Well, let's show the video right now. Go ahead. Here we are talking amongst ourselves here. Very good, Davey, very good. So the question I was going to ask at the very beginning before we did the video was, how are you able to pay for this? Because the students in the schools, do they pay for this, or do you have somebody that sponsors it?
It's very it's little to no cost. So we do a lot of fundraising, and we have kids on scholarships, and we do target the underserved community, because the biggest thing with the nonprofit is we want to make sure that we have equitable access to this environmental education. So no matter what your financial background is, we want you to be able to learn what everybody else is learning, right? And then, so we do fundraising. So we have a few events throughout the year. We just did a Cruise for a Cause event, and it was really, really great. But also, a portion of every Florida Water Tours ticket, so if you come out on a dolphin tour, a sunset cruise, a wine tasting, any of those tours from our for-profit, a portion of that goes to the nonprofit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you're supporting, whether you know it or not, you're supporting this marine education.
So I'd like to offer you two things as a chain of thought, all right?
Okay.
And we're doing this live, so you've got record now, so I'm roped into it no matter what. But as you know, we helped you on an event 3 years ago, and the crew would like to do something again. Let's not pick a hot month, though, okay?
Yeah.
But, my background and my time is always limited, so we have to plan this in far in advance. But, I've done comedy clubs, and I'm a magician. Wouldn't it be kind of fun to have some kind of actually on the water show?
Yes.
That would be a lot of fun. I would have a good time with it.
When you came and you did your magic show for the kids during our event, that was seriously the best part of that event. All the kids, my kids still talk about it.
Well, I like hearing that, but she's being nice because she's on the show, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it would be a lot of fun to do something like that, or come up with some other idea that would be a pirate theme or a pirate something. Yeah. And I'd love to help you, because I can this be an adult and child tour? Would love to learn right along with my grandson. So that is a really great question. That is a good question. We actually, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is we have a marine field experience that we're doing right now through the end of the summer. It's every Sunday. And so normally all of our educational cruises are school groups. So it's
it's kids that come from, their school or homeschool groups, and so it's usually just a teacher or a couple chaperones. But we started doing this marine field experience where it's more of like a community science tour. So it's basically one of our educational cruises, more for the public. So you can come out with your kids, and it's every Sunday at 11 o'clock, and you get to do all of the same science experiments that we do during these educational cruises. Everyone will have their little science kits, and we'll do a plankton tow, and we'll pull up some plankton, and you can look at it under the microscope. And so it's very engaging, and 100% of that goes to the nonprofit. It's $24 for adults if you're a Florida resident, $29 for adults if you're not a resident, and $16 for kids. And
that's a very reasonable price. That sticks within everything else that's going on here. So two questions jumped into my head. The first one is just about the tremendous heat we've been dealing with here. But when you're out on the water, it's not quite as bad, is it?
I was going to say, don't let the weather discourage you. It is cooler out on the water once the boat's moving and everything. And then, of course, we get those rainstorms that will come in the evening, but don't let that discourage you too. We have a really great weather policy.
What is your weather policy?
If it's looking like it's going to be bad weather, we never go out in bad weather. I like to say all of my captains are like weather geeks, and they're always on all their apps, and safety is one of our biggest priorities at Florida Water Tours, no matter what. Safety over profit always. Like, we really prioritize safety. It's a must.
So if you have a scheduled trip out and the weather comes bad, do you reimburse everybody, or do you give them a credit to come back at another time?
If they want a rain check and they want to come back another time, they can. We run all the time. So there's cruises
it's
at all
basically up to
different
the
times.
customer's choice.
It's the customer's choice, and you can get a full refund if you need to.
That's a wonderful way to do it, customer's choice, because if I've already spent the money, I'd probably just say, hang on to it, and I'll just come another time.
Yeah, and the weather's not anybody's fault.
No, you can't control the weather.
We have people that are from out of town that aren't going to be able to come the next day or whatever, so yeah, you can get a full refund if we cancel.
Do you have a policy that if you don't have enough people for the cruise, you don't go out?
We do, yes. We have a policy.
That's important to know.
Yes, but very rarely does that happen. It's a policy that we have to have, but very rarely that happens. Or, we might move everybody to the smaller vessel or something if we need to, but, we run a lot, and we have we have the 3 different boats,
So we'll have to talk, because I think with what we're doing, with what you're doing as a sponsor here, I think the podcast needs to reciprocate and do something with you and help with a fundraiser. But I think that would include the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, and it would include the magic and the fun that Captain Mayhem can bring to you. I think we can do some things. Cool. There are certain times of the year that, and I'll give you a perfect example, when I would like to not be doing anything the weekend before Thanksgiving all the way up to Christmas Eve. I'm no longer Captain Mayhem.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell anybody what I am. You can probably figure it out. But last year I had 98 bookings in that time frame. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun, and I would never turn it down, and we've already started working it out for this year, and I'm now actually getting some calls from some other places. Every Sunday I'm at the embassy on the beach.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, and so that's a lot of fun. And I'm actually working on some possibilities of doing a beach pool party out at the embassy, and that would be something that would be a lot of fun to have you guys come out and be a part of.
It does sound like a lot of fun.
Anything having to do with the water would be a lot of fun. I might actually, I don't know if it'll happen, but if we do what we want to do on September 19th, off like a pirate day, if I can get him to come up here with him and a couple of the others, I may be able to have a pirate band on the ship for us.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun too.
I would love to do that.
We'll see what happens. We'll see how it works out. But so you're a 501.
Yes, the nonprofit.
The Water
is a
Warriors is a
501c3.
501. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. is there a way? Is that information also on your website?
If you go to our website, you can find a lot of information about the nonprofit as well. There you go. There's a website that goes right to the nonprofit, FloridaWaterWarriors.org. You can go on there to. I really encourage people to be on our email list, because that's how we can get a lot of information to you if you're ever interested in volunteering or being a part of any of our events, or just knowing when we have events. All of our events that we've done so far have been just so much fun. And then you can find the information about the Marine Field Experience on there if you want to come out with us on a Sunday.
Do you accept donations? Just straight up donations?
Yeah. Yes,
very good.
We do.
That's always good to know.
The donation button is right on that website too.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Do you have any major big plans for either side, the water tours or the Florida Warriors, over the next between? As you saw, our list of things that we're doing with both the podcast and all the pirate cruise, we know what we're doing all the way up to the end of the year now. In fact, we're already working into February. Do you have anything special going on? That you gotta
really plan ahead. I think really so one of the things I wanted to share with you was my sister and I. So I have a younger sister. She's 21. She just graduated Flagler College, and she and I just came up with this whole other business to complement Florida Water Tours called Floating Food Company, and it's just kind of a foodie part of this business. So we're doing all in-house catering for our private cruises. We do a lot of private cruises, so if you have any kind of like family gatherings that you want to do, bachelor parties, anniversaries, family reunions, or if you own a business and you want to get your employees out for like a team building event, we do a lot of our vessels like a venue. So we do a lot of private cruises. So with that, I decided to start a little foodie business, and now we're doing in-house catering where we do charcuterie boards and brunch boards, dessert boards.
Now, are you doing this catering specifically for your tours?
It's specifically for the tours right now. I could branch out a little bit,
right.
But one of the things that we're specializing in right now is we're doing these awesome individual charcuterie boxes. So you can pre-order your little brunch box or charcuterie box or dessert box, and it'll be ready for you for your tour. So you come and you check in for your cruise, and your box is ready for you to bring it on. So that's kind of the new thing that's going on with us. So you can just
pick and eat as for the whole cruise.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Very cool. Ideas always just pop up, and it doesn't, just because we are live and I throw an idea at you and it doesn't ever work out, that's fine. But I always like roping people in. When we do Old City Pirate Festival, one of the things we do, the green trolleys has been wonderful to us. Mm. We get a green trolley for one tour that's all pirates for the day. One trip. And we get the trolley for free. And whatever we sell the tickets for, and it's up to 70 people, whatever we sell the tickets for, that's their way of giving us their sponsorship to Old City Pirate Festival.
Oh, that's great.
So we need to think of a way to do something similar, that maybe that weekend, because we have pirates, as it stands right now, I know we have pirates coming from Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Six states that are bringing in pirates to our event. Wow. And some of these pirates are looking forward to coming here and having a good time. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to figure out how to expand. Our Old City Pirate Festival is always set up on Friday night with maybe a party, and then all day Saturday, and we always wanted to do something on Sunday, and it never worked out. Mm-hmm. We're trying to work it out now that we do set up on Thursday, so we have more on Friday to do, more on Saturday to do, and maybe conclude everything with something cool on Sunday to take it back to a 2.5 day event. We need to sit down and talk about how we can make Florida Water Tours do something during that time. Because the pirates all don't need to be standing around on our field the whole time.
Right.
We want them to go and experience St. Augustine too.
Yes.
Because if they go experience St. Augustine, if I have people like you or anybody else that has other businesses and they're supporting us, then we can give back to their sponsorship by having our pirates go and experience that too.
Yes.
And so we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because it would be a lot of fun.
I think so too.
Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start figuring out how to fill your boat with pirates all the time.
Yes.
We might have to put Captain
Pirates need to
Mayhem's
be on the
flag.
water.
What's that?
So pirates need to be on the water.
They do. I might have to put Captain Mayhem's flag on your ship once in a while. Florida Water Tours, having worked with Jessica the very first time on the charity over at Comanche Cove, it was blasted hot that day, but it was a lot of fun. And I know that everybody went through a lot of water.
Yes.
In fact, I think we were throwing water on ourselves too.
Probably.
But you had a good crowd.
We had a really great turnout for our first event.
And it's a good place to Comanche Cove is really good. The parking is free, except there's not a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, when it gets crowded.
When it gets crowded, if there's a fishing tournament going on, but we don't really have a problem with people coming.
So your specialty boat, Salty Dream. Salty Dream. Do you do fishing from it too?
We don't do any fishing charters.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No,
That's good to know.
we stick to the sightseeing. All of our tour guides are so knowledgeable. Well,
Angie's one of your tour guides.
Angie's
right?
one of our tour guides.
Angie, if she's watching, I'm not saying this because she might be watching, but in fact, she is there. I see her name right there.
Hi,
there
Angie.
she is. There's Angie. Angie really is a really great tour guide. She's a pretty good pirate too, Black Ann. Not as good as Mayhem, but did you know her pirate name?
Pirate side. I didn't know that.
That's her pirate name.
He's exposing you.
Black Ann. Yes. So, in fact, man, I should have thought about this. I could have found a picture of her and me, and gosh, I can't think of her name now. Our redheaded singer that was part of our crew at the Pirate Museum. It'll come to me in a minute, but that would be an old picture. I just ran into it a couple of days ago too. So no, she's a wonderful tour guide.
Yes.
As is Kevin. Kevin and Angie, they know their stuff. They really do.
Yes. And they're very passionate.
They are passionate.
And she's just funny and intelligent. And I mean, I would say all of our tour guides, there are some people that just want to stick around and hang out with them after the tour because they're just so fun to be around. And yeah, it's a really good time.
I just had a thought. Nobody listened. But once in a while, if you wanted to do a tour that was just Captain Mayhem talking about pirate history of St. Augustine, that would be a fun one too.
Yes.
That would be a lot of fun. Talk about the pirate history of St. Augustine and a few pirate jokes here and there.
And be a guest speaker.
What's that?
Yes,
be a guest speaker.
Yeah.
Absolutely, on certain times if you want to try something like that.
That'd be really cool.
I just heard this really great pirate joke today, and I for some reason I just have to share it. The way the economy is going right now, flour, which is used to make cakes and pies, the cost of flour has gone up, and the cost of flour has made it that pie is expensive to make now, and the cost of pies in Barbados is about $2 a slice, and the cost of pies in Tortuga is about $5 a slice, and for some reason that there is the pirates of the Caribbean.
The pirates.
Yes, now you know why the rum is always gone. Thank you, Davey. Yes. There's a video of it. I'm sure the video does it more justice than I do, but I thought it was hilariously funny. Thank you, crew, for not laughing. Look at their stoic faces there.
Radio silence.
Mandy, are you even alive? Come on, smile.
Ben, I'm multitasking, working your back end of stuff over here.
That's true. That's true. By the way, let me ask you real quick. The 8 bells we did on John Powell, can we make that a short and put that out there? Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
I can do it.
That.
Hopefully
Thank
I
you.
can, as long as there's no issues with any of the music that was playing during any of the little excerpts.
I didn't hear any of the music, but if there is, the music is stuff that we own. Isn't that right, Mr. Longwood? Yes. That's a good point for us to throw up there real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, all the music that we use in our show now, we've learned the hard way that we had to go out and do that ourselves. So all the music that you hear in the podcast, we have bought, which means that we spent money. We've had to go out and buy those pieces of music because when we first started doing the podcast, we didn't realize that some of the music we were borrowing or using was somebody else's, and YouTube would shut those pieces of our show down and would not let those pieces of the show up. So we've gone offline now, and we've got a website that we go and we buy every month. We buy a couple of extra songs, and those songs cost us. We spend $20 or more a month to buy 2 or 3 extra songs to build up our library, so we don't get in trouble anymore. That's one of the costs of running this show. The program we use to do this show is also a cost we have to pay for. So that's why we do the things we do. That's why we have sponsors. We're not getting paychecks, ladies and gentlemen. We're just paying for the use of the show and the privileges and the equipment we need to run the show for this great set and great sponsors. So I always like to ask this of everybody that comes in. Doesn't matter what it is that they do, but what's one of your most, do you have a really cool memory that sticks out in your head of taking people out on the water? I got you on this one, don't I? Yeah. Or maybe it might even be.
Okay, I have one.
Go ahead.
I have one. Just a really cool memory is it's more of a recent memory. I barely ever get to go out on the boat. I do the back end stuff. I do the marketing.
You're the boss.
Yeah. So this past Christmas Eve, I did a tour with my husband, Captain Mike, and I hadn't been out on the boat since probably 2016 when we started the company, and I had such an amazing time being a first mate and a tour guide out on the water, and just getting out there and seeing everybody on Christmas Eve. We were able to let all of our employees have the day off for Christmas Eve. We're closed on Christmas Day, but I really wanted to be able to make sure everybody was off and home with their families. So there he is right now.
Captain Mike, wave.
Hi, babe.
You're on camera now. Look at the big TV. Go ahead, love. I'm sorry.
So just getting out there and being able to be on the boat again with him, and on Christmas Eve, it was just magical. And it's the holidays. Everybody is just excited to be there, and everyone's in a great mood. And so that would be my answer.
That's a good one. I do have another question now, and it's a monetary question. Do you have a way, or do you push is the wrong word I want to use? Do you encourage tipping to your crew?
Yes, we do. I like to say that, just like every other service industry job, if you enjoyed the cruise and you had a great time, then, gratuities are accepted. And actually, Angie has a really great, or I call her Rose, and she has a really great, it's like a poem that she says for people to tip. And I don't remember how she says it, but you're just going to have to come out and see what she says. You're going to have to come out on the tour.
She did actually put on there.
Maggie. Yes.
Maggie, that's right.
Magpie Maggie.
Magpie Maggie, that's right. Maybe the tour boats need a Santa on board during Christmas
Ooh,
holidays.
That is a great idea.
Right. There's not many. I happen to know that Santa's schedule is pretty strung up there, but we can figure it out. It would be a lot of fun. So that actually brings up another question then. See, and we don't script any questions here. I hate scripting questions, and I always warn my guests beforehand that I'm just going to ask questions, and they can answer how they want. Do you get involved with the regatta with the night lights? Do you?
Yes.
Do you use all 3 of your boats?
We've only used 2 of our boats in the regatta, and it is so much fun, and we'll be doing it again this year. And for the past, I think, 4 or 5 years, we have won an award.
That's good.
For being in the regatta. So our boats get all lit up for the Nights of Lights.
Well, we might have to fill one of those boats with pirates that night.
Yes, we do themes, so it gets very competitive.
Of course it does.
There.
I remember when I was on the Black Raven. I believe that I was on the Black Raven long enough that I was there for 2 of those regattas.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to decorate the boat and have a good time.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm throwing it out there that with our relationship now, pirates and mayhem are pretty much at your disposal.
Yay.
I think we could have a lot of fun.
And
you're right, pirates do belong on the water.
Pirates belong on the water.
They sure do, absolutely. So we'll have to see what we can do with that.
Powder monkey should be on the water.
And the powder monkey too. He
For
hasn't made
children
an appearance tonight. I don't know where he's at, but I bet he'll show up here in a little bit. Do you have any more videos that you did you only put together the 2 there, Mr. Davey?
No, Jessica was kind enough to send some little quickies. So I just popped.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping.
Jump.
Well, at least it was good music. I like that. Very cool. So, have you had? I like to ask this question too. Have you had any celebrities come on board yet?
I don't think so.
Because we get a lot of celebrities in St. Augustine constantly. Some of them keep a very low profile.
Really?
Oh yeah, we've had a few come into the museum before and said hello.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, we have the amphitheater, and I know that they get out in.
They do. They get out and go around. David Allan Coe, a country western singer, when he was able to get out and about, and this would be in the first couple of years of the museum, he came down to the museum to see the museum and meet Captain Mayhem. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I had been told that Billy Gibbons wanted to come over to the museum, but that weekend they were in town, that they were having a bad sound check, so he couldn't get away to come over. That would have been really cool to meet ZZ Tops. I would have loved that. And I can't remember her name now, and somebody else helped me out there with the name, but Indiana Jones' girlfriend, who was in most of the Indiana Jones movies, she came to the Pirate Museum about 3 months ago, and I'm out there doing a tour, and everybody else is fawning all over, and I don't even know who it is until after the fact, and I was so mad that they didn't introduce me to her. So, I mean, celebrities are all over this place here, and it's just, we got to figure out how to get them on there.
Yeah, now you can just...
Karen Allen. Thank you, Angie. I knew Angie would get it. Karen Allen. There you go. Angie's right up there. Kevin met David Allan Coe too. That's right. Kevin was working there with us at the time, so he met David Allan Coe, and that's a great country western star because he's written music for even rock stars too. So a lot of fun there. So tell us what it is about all of this that just keeps you wanting to do it.
I am just so passionate about St. Augustine and the history here, and I think it's just such a wonderful thing to get people out on the water. I think, one of the biggest reasons why I keep doing it is I love seeing how lit up my husband is after he does a tour, and just getting the vibe from the people on the boat. And I mean, we've been doing this for so long now, and he still is just so lit up after.
Well, how long have you two been together?
So we've been together for 15 years.
Wow.
We've been married for 5 years. But
Now you have 2 children.
We have 2 kids.
I've-
They're probably watching from home, from
Are
David's
they?
house. Yeah.
Well, if they are, hey, nice
Hi.
to see you.
Isla and Malachi. Isla is 4 and Malachi is 2.
And they like being on the boat?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they love it. They love being around the water just as much as I do. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Wait a minute. Angie Rose is kissing up. Jess is an amazing boss. She's amazing all the way around. Wonderful mom, too. Love you.
Aw, I love you, Rose.
I think she's trying for a pay raise.
She deserves it. Rose is the best.
So, do you think the children will grow into liking this so much that they're going to just be a part of it, and it's going to continue to be a family business?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's that's the other thing too. Like, this is such, we have a lot of employees. Most of them are family. We have my mom is the one that answers the phone and the emails, and Mike's mom as well. Mike's mom is on the boat as a bartender. She is in the office answering the phones and the emails, and she's also a nurse at St. Johns County Jail. So she's a retired nurse from Long Island after 25 years, and then moved down here to be part of the family business. And she just won't stop working. So
I bet she loves it down here.
She loves it so much.
There's the children.
Yeah.
Davey's
There's the
always quick
babies.
with finding it out. Look at that. So, let's see. So, the one with the longer hair is which one?
That's Isla.
Isla?
Yep.
And she's
then
4?
She's 4. And then my little boy is Malachi, and he's 2 now.
Wonderful. What a lovely family. And this is one of the things that is great about St. Augustine. All the businesses that are tourist attractions here, for the most part, are family owned and family run.
Yes.
And then if you're not part of the family, immediately you become part of the family just by the fact that it's a family orientation of the way we do things here in St. Augustine.
It's such a community here, and that's what really drew me in, and what I fell in love with the most is when I started this business. I had so many people. It felt like I had a community already in my corner. It's just such a great town to start a business in because there's so many resources here, and I mean, people were, taking me under their wing, and it just, the sense of community here is incredible.
It's wonderful here, and I'll brag without giving too much detail, but where we're living right now, we've only been here for 14 months, 15 months. Prior to that, we were in a house for 11 years. And the landlord always told us, I'm never going to sell, and guess what happened? The market went to the point that everybody got greedy, and he said he was going to sell. And when we were faced with the idea that we had to move, and I looked at the housing market here, it was like, I stress city, and I didn't want to do it, but I ended up doing it anyway, because I do so much charity work with my crew and myself for everything else. I thought me personally doing a GoFundMe page was just so hypocritical, but I had no choice, and we did it. And within 20 days, we were, the community gave me enough money to take care of everything we needed to do to move here, and it was just. And then the person that owns this house was a friend of ours from other things we had done, and we had helped him in a couple of charity things anyway. So when push comes to shove, the town, the city is sort of good like that.
Yeah.
It also helps that I have a very strong pirate crew, and my crew is my family.
I love that.
And it's very important. So I really, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about keeping local money local.
Yes.
I won't cater. I won't go to caterers outside the city. I won't go to sound people outside the city. There are wonderful people that can take care of sound and lights. There are wonderful people that take care of T-shirts.
Yes.
Sports
everything. Corner.
Yeah, Sports Corner.
Yeah.
Everything you need, you can find here. If you can't find it, taking it outside then is no option. Then there's no fault there.
Right.
But you can find everything you need. And in some cases, sometimes you can find somebody here in town that goes, well, I happen to know somebody else that might, and they may be outside of town, but they're pushing you to them, and then those people are helping the people inside. It's a wonderful network of the way things are here. Nightingale in Florida says no finer crew, and I have to agree with her. The Swashbucklers are no finer crew. They do work well together, and we step up and do whatever we need to do. So so you have how many employees now?
I have about 25 employees.
So you have one big giant family.
It's a one big giant family, and we really are. We call each other. A lot of us are family, but the people that are outside of our family, I mean, we are. When I hire you, I'm like, okay, you're gonna gain a family because we all look out for each other. I mean, we have this big group text, and we all talk to each other every day, even if we're not working. It's just incredible.
So there's FloridaWaterTours.com, FloridaWaterWarriors.org. If you're interested in being a part of what they do by taking a ride out on the water and seeing the wildlife and the Florida fauna, and it's wonderful here. And there's you a 25% discount to go see dolphins. And dolphins are special to me. I like dolphins. Dolphins, here's something that you may not know. In the older tradition of the sea, many of the pirates and the sailors believed that dolphins were the souls of men that had been lost at sea. And the reason that the dolphins are swimming at the bow of your ship is because they're protecting you on your journey. Isn't that a cool one?
I really love that.
That's a really cool.
Yeah.
We did an episode months ago on nautical mysteries and nautical superstitions, and that was one of the things that came up. I'd already known that, so we put it in there. But yes, many people believe, many of the pilots in the Navy, the military, they believe that the dolphins were the souls of lost men at sea.
I love that.
That's a really good one.
That's a really great one.
It also would explain why the dolphins are so conversational with humans. They're not afraid of humans. They'll come up to the boat.
They're very curious.
They're very curious and very friendly, and they're extremely intelligent.
Yes, they are.
And I will throw one more thing out. Most everybody here in St. Augustine knew who Nellie was, the dolphin down in Marineland Studios. Nellie was named after my aunt many years ago on my father's side of the family.
So you've been here a long time.
Yes, and I actually have. I just acquired it the other day. I have a painting that Nellie did when she was still alive. So I'm going to put it in a frame and hang it up. I don't know where I'm going to hang it up in here, but I'm going to hang it up somewhere. I've been telling my wife I'm going to start hanging things on the ceiling.
Yeah, you might as well.
And she's not happy with that. But so at Florida Water Tours, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a wonderful way to go out there and see the city from the water and see the wildlife and the nature of St. Augustine and the First Coast. It is a wonderful thing. And we're not pushing her off screen because we're going to let her sit here and light up the screen. But we're going to do a couple of the other things that we normally do. Because one of the next things we do, ladies and gentlemen, if I bring up my script here, is we do This Week in Nautical History. And from this point, after tonight, starting next Monday for 52 weeks, Florida Water Tours will be the sponsor of This Week in Nautical History. So, Davey, have you got it ready?
And how nice they're sponsoring us.
Yes. Let them have it. are talking again. Look at that. But very good, Davey. As always, you always find some great things to do. Captain's dad was a shark walker. You're absolutely right. My father was a shark walker for Marineland Studios back in the 50s. And if you don't know what a shark walker is, let me explain it to you. Back in the day when they would go out and capture sharks and bring them back for aquarium use in the States, and Marineland was one of the first ones, they would drug them, okay? And then they would put them in a sling and raise them out of the water and put them in the boat and take them. And then when they brought them back and put them in the tank, well, they're still a little groggy. If you don't know this about sharks, sharks have to constantly swim. They cannot sit still because they don't have the gill muscles. They have to completely swim constantly to allow the water to go through so they get oxygen. Somebody has to get in the tank and grab them by their fins and drag them through the water until they come back to consciousness. That was my father for Marineland Studios.
Wow,
Yeah.
What a job.
And my mother was a fish feeder. She was one of the ones that would sit there and make the dolphins jump in the air and fish feed them. Yeah. So I have a picture of my mom actually doing that from about 1955 or 56, which would be about 2 years before I was born. Giving away my age now. So yes, there you have it. So let's see. We normally do
Mail
this
call.
week in. No, we normally do mail call. Davey, I'm going to do last minute checks before we do this week in history. Okay?
Sure.
All right. This is something special, ladies and gentlemen. There's a company here in town, as I always like to bring companies in, and I just made a tentative deal with them, meaning that we've talked emails. We haven't signed anything, but it's called Templar's Choice. There it is, Templar's Choice. He builds and makes knives, swords, and axes. And they are real. They're not wall hangers. They're the kind that you can actually go out and do what you need to do with them, like sword fighting or whatever. So I've made a tentative deal with them. Instead of them providing money for sponsorships, he is going to provide me with products. We are going to have a knife for the podcast, and we're trying to figure out how to give it away. Give it away. So one of the ways that I think we're going to try to give it away, I'm still researching to see what we can do, but we're going to try to jumpstart our Patreon account. Patreon account is where you can go on and be either a powder monkey or a first mate, and we may actually add another level to it. And then you use your credit card and you go on there and you can give them permission to take a monthly fee from your credit card for 3 months, 6 months, or a year. So we're going to look at the numbers and see what we can do. And then everybody that goes on Patreon, we will take your numbers, your names, and put them in a hat at a certain period of time. And I'm thinking probably around Christmas time, because it would make a wonderful Christmas gift. We will draw a name of all our Patreon supporters, and we will give you the knife created by Templar's Choice. They are also going to make one for Spooktacular. What they're going to do for Spooktacular will probably be a really cool axe, because axes and Halloween go together.
Oh, of course.
And we'll use that one to raise some money for our charity, our Christmas time. But they're also considering making a combination sword and knife set that we will auction off at Old City Pirate Festival. That will be their sponsorship for everything we do. It's all tentative right now, but I just wanted to announce that because myself and the one that owns that, we've been talking for the last couple of days, and he's all for it. He said, whatever I want, he's willing to do. So that's the suggestions I gave him, and he says he's totally on board. So let's see what we can come up with. And between Davey Longwood and Mandy Joe and Gunner Henley, we will figure out exactly how to give that podcast knife away. By then, we also might have a podcast t-shirt, so maybe we can do that too, and throw a t-shirt in on top of it. So be watching, because we want to spice up our Patreon accounts. On that note, how about this week in history, Mr. Davey?
All right.
job as always, Mr. Longwood. I know you stay up many nights during the week putting that all together.
Well, with the addition of our new sponsor, we're gonna have to change some things.
Yeah, a few changes here and there, but I'm sure that you're up to the task. Don't worry about it. So, how about guests on the horizon? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have for guests all the way up till January 1st. That's our shows. Every one of our shows. As you can see, Florida Water Tours right there. Next week, Joe Hughes, a comedian, a friend of mine from California who now lives in Florida. Jay Wilson, aerial photography. He does drone work.
Oh.
It'd be kind of interesting to maybe bring him on board that night and see if he can run his drone from the water, taking pictures of us that way, too.
Yeah.
I'll ask him if it's possible. Ron Brown is scheduled for August 14th, but I just talked to him today, and he may not be able to do the show. And so I'm trying to work some things around to move some people around and see what I can do. He also doesn't want to do the show live stream. He wants to get on his motorcycle and drive here all the way from Tennessee to be on the show live. I just happen to have 2 bottles of rum that he gave me just around COVID that have never been opened. So when he gets here, in person, I will open one of those bottles and we will sip that rum while we're having the show. John Miriam, who is on 105, I believe, Beach Radio, he'll be here on August 21st. And once again, Sheriff Hardwick will be here. He's always a lot of fun to have on the show, and he loves being on this show, so we'll have to have some more fun with him. Black Sails Adventures out of North Carolina is going to be on the show in September. And September 11th is a surprise special. Here's the hint. Pirates of the Caribbean. Possibly 4 actors. That's all I'm going to say. September 18th will be our anniversary show and Talk Like a Pirate Day event. And then, well, you can see the rest. We're doing something for the Humane Society. And Colby, put your glasses on, Mayhem, put your glasses on. Ann Colby, she's the author of a book called Wicked St. Augustine. I believe she actually does some things for Spyglass Travel. I saw her on the website, so she works with Kevin and Angie also. Morgan Lanny, a very good friend of mine. I've known her since she was a teenager. She's going to be coming on and talking about ghost tours here. Carol Busby, we're going to do October 16th as a history of women and pirates. You'll be surprised at all the women that really were pirates. We're going to promote Spooktacular on October 23rd, and then October 30th, a Halloween special. Mystery guests. I don't know what that means. Tasting tours of St. Augustine in November, and Dick's Wings live podcast party at Dick's Wings. Live podcast on November 13th, and our sponsors are hopefully going to come, and they'll advertise for us and bring some of their fans too. And look at that. I just got word today that Santa himself is going to be on the November 27th show. I might get to take a break. We'll see what happens. A Christmas special on the 25th, and New Year's Day, January 1st, it's a Monday, we'll do a show, and I think we're going to talk about the history of resolutions and see who's made some of the most outlandish resolutions. So we only have 4 unused dates right now for the end of the year. If you've got an idea or we can help you out, let me know. It'd be great to have you there. Have we done a run of the comments there, Mr. Davey?
Did you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah, let me roll all the way back to the beginning and see if anybody popped in anything that was worthy of talking about. Let's see. There's Zachary Harker from Michigan. Another grand Monday, he says. Let's see. Athena Rivers, there she is there. Can't wait for the show. Thank you, Athena. There's Jim. Ahoy, all me mateys. Jim's a very faithful watcher of our show. We appreciate that. Nightingale in Florida. Let's see. Athena. Will the Historian. I am on time. Woohoo! Glad you're watching. Will the Historian happens to be my son in northern Alabama. He is a history teacher. And Ransom Mayhem is my brother, and he's from Panama City Beach. We'll be going over to his event soon. And there he's saying hello to Uncle Ransom. I don't see him saying hello to me. There's Sketchy Guy right there from Las Vegas, Nevada. Very good to have you on board. Utah Pirates. Welcome, Cameron. Very good. Let's see. Anybody else? So sad to hear about John. Yes, Jim, you're absolutely right. He sure fought a long, hard fight that last 2 years, that's for sure. It is sad that we've lost him. Sketchy Guy says history. That's what he likes about St. Augustine. That's good. Swallowtail Kites. That's from a Facebook user. That's the birds of the area here. And
They're one of my favorite birds too.
is it really? Very good. Let's see. The scenery and the history both hidden and revealed. Good idea. That's a nice way to put it, Athena. Very nice. And let's see. Facebook user says, sounds like fun. Lots of pirate flags. That must be referring to our pirate trip there.
Yes.
And Miss Kara Creamer says that would make your wife very happy. I am sure she's talking about the idea that I'm going to take her on a boat ride.
Yes.
Yep, that's it. Birthday next month. Wink, wink. Well,
For a boat tour.
I guess then we're going to have to work on sometime in August. We'll have to see. I'll be talking to them. We'll see what happens. What's the link of the price? We already put that up. There's somebody that's complimented you on your organization and everything you've done.
Thank you.
Let's see. I didn't see the monkey.
I saw the monkey.
Was the monkey on there?
Yes.
I must have missed him.
You missed the monkey.
X-Body Racing. Amazing crew, amazing experience. We learned so much and had a blast. Just beautiful.
Thank you.
Very good. I do not know who X-Body Racing is. That's a new name on our listing. Very good. Can you post that link for the kids' water? All right.
His water can.
Camp. That's on your.
did, yeah.
That's on the website.
It's the
Very
Water
good.
Warriors link,
Water
yeah.
Warriors. That's Water Warriors. Very good. And we already answered the question that can be adult and child.
Yep.
You could make one of the ants disappear. David Copperfield. That stuff. Yes, I could do that. Sure. Ants. Why do I want to make ants disappear? Will. There's Angie Rose. Let's see. You forgot about Panama City. No, it's on the list. Davey, put the crew adventures up there, please, real quick. Right there. 6, 7, and 8. Panama City Beach, Pirates of the High Seas. So there. All right. Maggie, even my wife got Maggie better, faster than I did. Kara Creamer, he has forgot about us way over here. No, I haven't. You're on the list. Let's see. Maybe the tour boats need a Santa. That's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
I like that idea. I'd love to see that in person. Oh, Santa? Okay. Kevin met David Allen Coe. We already did that. Karen Allen, we got that. Jess is an amazing boss. That's where she was kissing up. That's okay. You're supposed to do that. Dolphins are smarter than a lot of people I know. That I won't argue with on, Angie. You're absolutely right. Dolphins are smarter than a lot of people I know, too.
True fact. Yeah.
Let's see. I knew Nellie ever since I was 7 years old. Miss her. Nightingale in Florida is one of my crew members, too. Let's see. I've seen a few things about our mother put on there by Ransom Mayhem. Our mom used to come down from New York every summer. That's how she met our dad down here.
Aww.
Yeah. Her wedding gift from our dad was a big giant alligator in the back of the truck. Yeah. We used to go to Marineland every time we came here as a kid. That's back when they had the actual dolphin shows, too. It was always a blast. Let's see. Ransom, how long did your parents work there? Visited Marineland for the first time when I was about 8 in 64. Nightingale in Florida, our parents worked there in the 50s, so you would never have seen them then. By 1964, our father had died and passed away, and Mom had married into another part of the family, and we were in England in 1964 because our stepdad was in the Air Force.
Wow.
Just more family history that we're sharing here. She does a tour for Spyglass called Wicked St. Augustine. That's referring to Ann Colby. She's an interesting character, and I have a copy or two of her book here. On the night that she's here, I'll have a copy. We'll figure a way to give it away. Small World Ransom. Yes, it is. And Logan Spencer. Logan is from Savannah. He'll be here in St. Augustine. Thank you very much, Logan. He'll be here in St. Augustine in 2 weekends. Oh, and I just so happen to know it's Logan's birthday that weekend. So I'm going to have a drink with him. So we'll see if I can match up. That's the end of everything we've got there. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a reveal of the joke of the week?
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. What do you call a pirate's hairstyle? The answer is a crew cut.
A crew cut. I like that one. Very good, very good. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, this is our 92nd episode. And in the beginnings, we used to say thank you to everybody, but we found a much better way to do that several months back. And we put together what we like to call our thank you and appreciation video. Mr. Davey, go ahead.
The Captain's Quarters podcast is indeed a ship, sailing the seas of the world, always in search of history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a ship, so we take this opportunity to thank those who help keep the ship afloat. Our sponsors: the Pirate and Treasure Museum, Dick's Wings Bar and Grill, Spyglass Travel, Ancient City Sirens, Rikers Reenactors, Paper and Strings, and Shiver Me Pictures. The supporting cast and crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davey Longwood, Gunner Hellfire Henley, Cartographer Mandy Joe, Juan Cam, and of course the Powder Monkey. Helping others gives the crew purpose. The 4 major charities we support, but always with room for more, are Inc., investing in kids, St. Johns County Fire Cadets, SAYS, St. Augustine Youth Services, and the Humane Society. You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon. Support us with a small monthly contribution as Powder Monkey or First Mate memberships. Go to YouTube. Hit the like and follow buttons to join our ranks and support the show. Or a single contribution which helps with other expenses of the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
Very good, Davey. Very good. And we always like to show our platforms. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch the show, you can watch us on YouTube live, and then it downloads after the show, and you can watch it at any time on YouTube at Captain's Quarters Podcast. You can also find us on Spotify and Instagram. If you just want to listen to the show, and I can't tell you how many times I've had people in the museum who have taken my tour and they say, well, we're driving home today, we'll listen to your show. Well, they can listen on Stitcher, iHeart, CastBox, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. So 7 different ways for you to catch our show. Use those QR codes and there you have it. On that note, our numbers. We have 1,388 subscribers now, ladies and gentlemen. 2.6K in views, and our watch time hours are now 365.8 hours in the last 28 days. Some of our most top videos: Captain's Quarters Podcast special guest Kevin Rose. Well, I wonder who that is. Viking Ship in Athens. That's a short that we had here, done by our own Mandy Joe, and she was overseas, touring around like some rich person. And Mini Mayhem's joke of the week: why do pirates, what does it say? Why do pirates what? I don't know which one that one was. Well, go and watch them yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say. Be a part of our crew, a part of our cast. Watch our show. And as I always tell everybody, because we've reached the end of our show, one thing first, 2 things actually. One, is there anything you'd like to say in closing? Because the floor is yours. The deck is yours, actually.
Just thank you for having me. This was my first podcast, and it was awesome, and you were a really great person to talk to and chat with, and I love your home. It's very homey here, and felt right at home.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good place here in the Captain's Quarters man cave. We also do one other thing. Every guest that comes on board our show, we give them a gift. It's not much, but it is a coin.
Aww, thank
The logo
you.
on one side, you'll hear this in just a moment.
Okay.
That is a poker chip. Black in Las Vegas is $100, but it's not worth $100, so don't take it there. But it is a black poker chip that you can have fun with, and it is yours.
Aww.
In fact, wait a minute. No, Davey, I don't have any of the other special ones.
Yeah, I have to bring over some more of
We
those.
have to do some more. And in fact, when we do another one, I will make sure you get it. We have a key that goes with it, and the key is a bottle opener.
Ooh.
All right, so we'll get some of those out. Oh, and there's Cooney, my little... Hello, mate. How are you? You want to come up and say hello to everybody? Come here. This is Cooney. He came out to say hello to everybody. This is this is my cat. Hi. Yes. Yeah.
Hi.
He doesn't like being held for very long, so he gets to go down. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good show. What do you think, Mandy Joe? Yeah, I see your lips moving, but nothing's coming out.
I forget that I mute this thing.
Yes, I know. Good show, though, right?
Yes.
And how are you doing out in Utah?
Good. We went from 107 degrees to rain back up to 107 degrees in one day.
Very good. Well, lucky you.
Oh,
You can keep it. All right. And Hellfire. You doing all right?
Hi, Captain. We're drowning out here, though.
Nice that Athena's watching the show, too. I look forward to seeing you guys as soon as... You're coming for Saturday?
Hi, Captain.
Very good. I look forward to seeing you both here on Saturday, then. And as always, Davey, you've done an excellent job. Without Davey, ladies and gentlemen, this show would just be me sitting here staring at the screen. Although, I'd probably be drinking more rum. And then you'd know why the rum is gone. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have a sign-off. Take her away, Mr. Longwood.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew.
As always, the crew for you, always. Mandy, I'm going to have to make sure I don't overstep your lines.
It would help if I would actually not be working and be here. So
Yes, I understand. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't do this show without you, so we appreciate each and every one of you watching what we do, and we hope that we have done a good job tonight as we always have done. If you have a comment or a question, or even an input to what we could do to make the show better, you know our email, captainsquarterspodcast21@gmail.com. Send us a message. But for now, we're signing off, and thank you all very much for being here tonight on the 92nd episode.